Moving on, I would like to welcome our next speaker, Mr. Amit Khemani, Vice Chairman at Khemani Group, who will throw light on sustainability, delivering growth by serving people and planet. Let me welcome Mr. Khemani on the stage. His business acumen and knowledge of finance helped him in making efficient budget analysis that led to appropriate utilization of opportunities for growth and profit. So, Mr. Khemani, I leave the stage to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Sagav, and the entire team of White Page International. Uh, Also, I would like to say good evening, namaste to all who are watching from different parts of the world. I would just like to start off by saying, ladies and gentlemen, today we are living in a ferocious pandemic situation which is sweeping the globe, threatening lives and livelihood, and at a very, very alarming rate. As infection and death rate continues to rise, resident movement is restricted, economic activity is curtailed, and governments resort to extraordinary measures, and individuals and corporations scramble to adjust themselves. In the blink of an eye, the coronavirus has upended the world's operating assumptions. Now, all attention is focused on countering this and the extreme threat to all of us, and on blunting the force of the major recession that is likely to follow. Amid this dislocation, it is easy to forget that just a few months ago, the debate about climate change, the socio-economic impact it would have and it would give rise to, and the collective response it calls for, where we are gaining momentum. Sustainability indeed was rising on the agenda and on many public and private sector leaders before unsustainably and suddenly became impossible to avoid. Given the scope and the magnitude of this crisis and the long shadow it will cast, can the world afford to pay attention to the climate change and a broader sustainability agenda at this time? Our firm belief is that we simply cannot afford to do otherwise. Not only does climate action remain critical over the next decade, but investments in climate resilient infrastructure and the transition to lower carbon future can drive significant near-time creation while creating increasing economic and environmental resiliency. The pandemic has shown how sustainability must evolve to also include health wellness strategies for better, greener future for all of us. The new benchmark of quality. The COVID-19 pandemic market era will acquire and require professionals to be strategic overseers with a different lens for a long-term outcome. In this session of change, or in this season of change, all built environments will require careful reconsiderations. Otherwise, it will fail to promote a culture that stands on the pillars for safety, quality, and efficiency. Also, consumer demands are changing like never before. There has been enough time elapsed for market research to indicate that some solid trends, not the least of which the consumer prioritization on greener environment. It seems to be official. People are no longer willing to sacrifice the environment for their day-to-day activities and comforts. My next my next thing would be going green. A great place to begin might be with an audit of existing production facilities and processes. An audit makes it very clear and evident which systems might be leaking in terms of energy or which assets are coming at the greatest environmental cost, so on and so forth. It's easy then to track the energy consumption across the usage and at various stages of the process. While data, with the data from the audit, the next step is to address the energy leaks and make repairs and substitution, prioritizing the assets that will make these facilities more environmentally neutral and friendly. Another easy step is to devote these projects along with all future facility repair and maintenance to green focused contractors. Not only will they offer experience, sustainable contractors will use clean products and energy and in a most efficient tool. They are most likely to be familiar with lower energy systems that are in place and might be able to offer guidance and other improvements that would make our facilities may go greener and safer and better for everyone else. With zero emissions, generating your own power and in fact access to what the government for their use and giving access to the government for to their use, recycling and recharging groundwater and building greener oases in and around you, in your factories, in your surroundings will be a great boost to yourselves and also to the nation by large. We at Khemani Group take pride in contributing in making this initiative by making this a better planet, not only for ourselves but also for the future generations who are yet to come. We continue to strive to improve our processes for better environment as we keep pushing the goal post to achieve greater milestones. And this happens by fueling innovation. Marketing and procurement teams have many tools in their arsenal to improve innovation and modernize capabilities. Digital transformation, for example, has grown significantly in importance, increasing by 20% at least since 2019. In general, digital technologies and enablers like robotic process automation, as we call it as RPA, or artificial intelligence as AI, and cognitive capabilities can help organizations become more agile. The survey found a strong correlation between agility and higher overall performance. Organizations and business leaders that empower these teams to be true surges in importance in the disrupted world. Recycling of old glass bottles for mass brands is one such step that we have taken seriously to reduce the heat and gas release during the glass bottle production. And this leads me to the human aspect of things. Our contribution to vulnerable sections of the society is critical to ensure that there is a balance and every human gets the opportunity to grow and is treated with dignity. Every business needs to identify the vulnerable section that they wish to support. It was only natural for us to commit that our alcohol was also used to provide hand sanitizers to the local administration and government of Maharashtra and other states wherever there was dire need of hand sanitizers to help this country, the people and the states get through this pandemic. And by doing this, we were providing security to the citizens and to fight this deadly virus. Be it Alcobev, being in Alcobev, we have identified students that need our support and thus have built schools infrastructure for them so they can get a good formal education with the state-of-the-art best facilities and knowledge to make the right choice when it comes to education. We have also identified that tourism is a huge industry in Daman and Diu, and to improve that, we have taken initiative of beautifying the city squares and centers of this location in Daman that will attract tourism and also promote tourism. IT and technology companies require at least 10% new staff well trained in high technologies for keeping up pace with the emerging higher technologies. To replace the redundant staff or the shortage resulting from attrition and new responsibilities and opportunities to be undertaken. This is true for all companies. This is why with large base of IT, during the current year, the USA has approved the record number of H-1B visa to meet the shortage of the technical staff. And also going ahead, how we want to weather the road ahead. If one is clear, it is a clear takeaway from this ongoing disruption facing global businesses. It's that business leaders need to respond in time to the challenging marketplace by empowering all the teams, improving supply visibility, involving them in high level discussion and decision making will help them weather this road ahead. The board of directors, comprising balanced independent directors, by driving innovation and unleashing the power of technologies and economic valuation, could play a major role using this tool in the corporate governance. Our partners are also using environmental friendly processes. This is the question that everybody needs to ask their partners. Are we getting the right material that we can destroy or reuse to reduce the environmental damage? Are we communicating with the customers enough to build a brand advocacy and brand differentiation? Are we using the right tools and processes across our production and supply chain? These questions need to be continuously be revisited and should be rechecked, re-asked and discussed and processed in our heads to ensure that safer planet for all the future generations. Buoyed by technology and sitting in an important nexus in global commerce, we need to be prepared for disruption and in turn create a more agile organization and a safer organization. Thank you, everybody.